Welcome to the Explainer, darling. As a working stage actor, I've had my fair share of totally brutal crowds, but today, we are breaking down the absolute ultimate high-stakes improv survival guide. We're looking at the classic Japanese folktale of a traveling performer named Tanokyu, and honestly, this isn't just some dusty old myth. It's a literal masterclass in reading the room and using your actor's toolkit to, well, stay alive. So grab your playbills because this performance is going to be spectacular, and I promise you're going to learn a thing or two about handling life's most unexpected auditions.
Now just imagine this total nightmare scenario. You've just wrapped a gig, you're walking alone at night on a dark mountain path, and suddenly a massive hostile audience member completely blocks your way and demands to know who you are. Your nerves absolutely take over, and you stutter your opening lines so badly, saying "Tada Tanokyu," that this terrifying giant, who clearly needs to check his hearing, actually mistakes your name for Tanuki, the shape-shifting raccoon dog. I mean, talk about an opening night disaster, right?
Act 1. The ultimate high-stakes improv. This whole setup perfectly captures that classic gig economy hustle we all know so well. Like literally any modern actor bouncing from one audition or regional theater job to the next, Tanokyu gets word that his mother is sick. He's desperately rushing home to his rural hometown. On his way, he stops at a tea house at the foot of the mountain, and the locals give him a really stark warning. They're like, "Do not cross the mountain at night, there's a monster." But Tanokyu, driven by duty and a seriously tight schedule, completely ignores the warnings about this lethal critic waiting in the dark. So, let's meet our main antagonist, the Uwabami. In Japanese folklore, this isn't just your average garden snake. It's a giant, terrifying, mythical serpent, famous for swallowing humans whole if they happen to wander into the night mountain. For Tanokyu, this is quite literally the most intimidating, overpowering scene partner imaginable. You can't exactly call for a line here. You either perform or you get eaten. It's that simple.
Act 2. Mastering the quick change disguise.
When this massive monster corners him, and genuinely believing he's a shape-shifting Tanuki demands a performance, Tanokyu has to rely entirely on his actor's toolkit to survive. The staging of this moment is just brilliant. He doesn't panic. Instead, he directs the scene. Step 1, he tells the giant to turn around, which is basic misdirection, right? Establishing dominance in the space. Step 2, he frantically grabs his theatrical props out of his bag, the literal tools of our trade. And step 3, in the pitch dark, under extreme pressure, he executes a flawless, rapid quick change, transforming himself entirely into the role of a beautiful woman. Honestly, that is incredible stagecraft under pressure.
And it absolutely works. His performance is so deeply convincing that the giant, turning back around, is completely taken in by the character work. The monster is just so impressed by this display of magic that he drops his guard and says, "Actually, I can shapeshift too," right before revealing his own true, horrifying, massive snake form. It's that classic twist where the scene partner tries to completely upstage the lead.
Act 3. Finding your scene partner's weakness.
Okay, so here is our hero, trembling before a giant human-eating snake. He is terrified, and in a moment of sheer panic, he experiences a totally happy accident. He breaks character for just a split second and reaches for his tobacco pouch to calm his frantic nerves. He's not acting here. This is a pure, raw physical response to immense stress.
But look at what happens. The Uwabami drops his imposing, terrifying facade immediately. He actually shrinks back, shrieking, "Stop! I hate tobacco smoke!" The giant is completely repulsed by it. And then realizing he's just given away his absolute deepest vulnerability, he threatens to squeeze Tanokyu to death if our actor dares to leak this bad review to the human public.
Act 4. The reverse psychology technique.
The monster, having totally revealed his own weakness, naturally demands to know what Tanokyu is most afraid of. And Tanokyu brilliantly counters the monster's genuine physical weakness, the tobacco smoke, with a completely fabricated psychological one. He looks straight at this giant snake and claims, with absolute utter conviction, that his biggest, most paralyzing fear in the whole wide world is money. Specifically, koban, which are Japanese gold coins. It is literally the perfect yes and in the history of improv. Once he is safely off the mountain, Tanokyu basically takes on the role of a director. He immediately shares the monster's weakness with the local villagers at the foot of the mountain, who have been terrorized by this guy for years. He arms them with tobacco pipes, and they march right up the mountain in a magnificent ensemble performance. They create a symphony of puka puka don don, puff puff bang bang. They completely smoke out the monster, puffing away until the mighty Uwabami is dizzy, totally disoriented, and utterly defeated.
Act V, a brilliant box office payout.
But wait, the show is definitely not over yet. The final act is always where the tension peaks, right? The monster is completely humiliated, so he uses his last ounce of stage presence and energy to hunt down our lead actor for a final, vengeful confrontation right at Tanokyu's own home. He desperately wants the final word in this theatrical duel.
Shouting down through the skylight of the house, the furious Uwabami yells, "Take this, Tanuki!" And because he totally bought Tanokyu's brilliant lie, he rains down what he genuinely thinks is our hero's greatest nightmare, a massive, heavy, endless shower of gold coins. He is literally pelting our actor with absolute treasure, completely convinced he is inflicting maximum psychological damage. And so Tanokyu delivers the absolute performance of a lifetime. He rides around on the floor screaming, "Help! It hurts! I'm suffering!" amidst the literal pile of gold. He gives it everything he has until the monster, satisfied with his revenge, finally exits stage left. The moment the giant is gone, Tanokyu drops character entirely. He just sits up among his brand new fortune with a triumphant, rich grin, having perfectly monetized his opening night disaster.
As we close the curtains on this explainer, I want to leave you with this dramatic prompt, darling. In the grand theater of modern life, if a metaphorical monster cornered you and demanded to know your absolute greatest fear, what would your koban, your gold coins, be? What is your brilliant bluff? Think about it. Thanks for joining my masterclass today, and remember, no matter what happens out there, the show must go on.